Akira.
He's got clout.
Life is a difficult process. Infinitely challenging, ultimately challenging, because it's bounded by death and insanity and all these terrible things that can befall people. You need to chart a course that makes the travel worthwhile. Chart a course that makes the travel worthwhile. To chart a course that makes the travel worthwhile. And that's not happiness. It's a much more profound idea than that. It's more like adventure, I would say. It's more like the great adventure of your life. It's more like adventure. It's more like the great adventure of your life. It's more like adventure. It's more like the great adventure of your life. That's a difficult thing. It's not a tropical cute cruise with a Mai Tai in hand, although maybe now and then it could be that. But I think human beings, you know, we're very tough and combative creatures, and we're really built for a load. You really see this hunger arising in young men for exactly a call to that kind of adventure. It's like, get the hell up, guys, get to work. There's things to be done. It's like, get the hell up, guys, get to work. There's things to be done. There's dragons to confront and things to set right. I believe that's the truth, and I believe that it's more powerful than fear and than suffering. And that's saying a lot, because fear and suffering are real.
What separates me from a lot of people is they go into a daunting task, and the task is overwhelming.
Akira.
And I heard the pull-up record was 4,020 pull-ups, and I was talking about breaking this record. People are like, oh my God. I went right to a pen and paper. What are you doing? I'm doing the math, man. I'm doing the math, man. What are you talking about? I'm doing the math, man. I'm open-minded to the fact that, okay, if I do 5 pull-ups in a minute for so many hours, I can get so many pull-ups in. How much time do I have to rest? I was breaking the math down. You have to be open-minded to the possibilities that I can do this. Once you shut your mind down to the possibility that it can be achieved, there's no way it can happen. So that's why my eyes and my body light up about things, because I know that if you're in a fight, you have to attack. You have to keep attacking. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. He must break the soul of whatever the fuck is in front of him. 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 The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. He must break the soul of whatever the fuck is in front of him. That's what I realized. I was never breaking the soul of anything in front of me. So that's why I came with a thing called taking souls. I started to devise ways to break a soul of a human being, of the object, of whatever's in front of me. If you keep on attacking something, nothing wants to stand in front of anything that is relentless. Nothing. That's when a lot of stuff started clicking, man. I started watching those instructors on the side. They've been there, done that. Now they're instructing you. They have their parkas on, it's usually cold, coffee, drinking their coffee, and they're beating the crap out of us. And when I started realizing, I started playing mind games, and I was like, you know what? I bet these fuckers are looking at us, judging themselves about when they were going through hell. I'm looking at Goggins right now. I was better than him. I was better than that guy. I was better than that fucker over there. And I was like, okay. So what I started doing was I got my boat crew. It's Wednesday and everybody's broken, everybody's beat up, man, and everybody's like just trying to get through Hillwick now, and they tell you how you're supposed to feel. So you are feeling that way. supposed to feel? No, it's day one, motherfucker. This is hour one. So I was getting my Boku all jacked up. I said, we're gonna take these motherfuckers' souls. So they had us doing this simple thing that guys are struggling with. Boku 2 is just lost in the fucking boat and you're yelling, yeah, you can't fucking hurt us, can't hurt Boku 2. And I looked on the instructors' faces and it looked like someone had just fucked with their soul. And I looked at my guys in the Boku and I said, hey, guess what? Those motherfuckers aren't fucking tonight. Cause we own space in their fucking head. We own space, they're gonna think about us tonight. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. He must break the soul of whatever the fuck is in front of him. 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 The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. He must break the soul of whatever the fuck is in front of him. And we start fueling off of that. We start fueling off the fact that, man, it takes 1 second of energy to steal everybody's. And then you have all the energy you need. That's all you need. You need to look at someone's eyes. You know how it is when you fight somebody and you broke that motherfucker. He's like, oh God, man, I don't want to go back to the next round. And you feel like, my God, I can fight all day. That's what taking souls is. But you have to have the will, the heart, the courage to go that distance when you're exactly jacked up. You have nothing left to give. And give more. You know how you get that fight or flight response when you get to move real quick? I started learning the mind a lot, how to get myself jacked extremely fast in a horrible environment when everybody's miserable. I learned how to really find strength in the misery. This is where I shine. And I started using all that misery for tons and tons of drive and motivation to then lead people further. Because you can get a lot of power through misery. And once people see that, my God, Goggins is fucking coming, then everybody says, roger that. I started realizing that if you can just find strength just a little bit longer, you will have a crew of people following you along the way. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. You must break the soul, whatever the fuck is in front of you. 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 The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. You must break the soul, whatever the fuck is in front of you. You have to take great pleasure in the fact that no one wants to be where the fuck you're at right now. Great pleasure, man. They have to bring a passion out of you. It has to bring something very, very weird out of you, man. Like, you know, people don't really understand what that is. When you're in the worst environment possible, the worst situation possible, and everybody's looking like, God, man, I hope this ends. And you see that. Time slows down and you see that. You're feeling that. Everybody has that look on their face like, God, this gotta go. I don't want to be anymore. This is where I shine. Where I shine. This is where I shine. This is where I shine. This is where I shine.
So I wake up early. I wake up at 4:45. I like to have that psychological win over the enemy. The enemy. When I wake up in the morning and I don't know why, I'm thinking about the enemy. And what they're doing. And I know I'm not active duty anymore, but it's still in there. That there's a guy that's in a cave which is coming. Which is coming. The part of the world that I've seen is a very dark place. It's a dark place. That's what war is. War is. War is. War is. War is. The enemy. The enemy. When I wake up in the morning and I don't know why, I'm thinking about the enemy. When your job, which my job was to expand that darkness in many ways. I mean, the war is about killing people. And so for me, when I look to someone that's successful, it's someone that brings some light into that darkness. That darkness, 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 darkness. The first people that come to my head are one of my guys, first SEAL killed in Iraq. Mike Mansour, one of my guys, second SEAL killed in Iraq. And Ryan Job, one of my guys, wounded in Iraq, blinded in both eyes, made it home, married his high school sweetheart, got her pregnant, finished his college degree, and after his 22nd surgery to repair the damage that was done to his head and face, there were complications and he died as well. Those guys, in all that darkness, they did things, they made a sacrifice that was completely selfless. And to do that, and to live, and fight, and die like a warrior, that to me is success. And those guys are my heroes.
I should make it clear, I don't believe this stuff. I find believing in these high-flown, complicated synthetic systems to come off sort of like pathology. So I entertain ideas, but I don't give belief over what I do. I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. A meme replicator. Naturally, this question arose in our group. Why us? Why us? Why are the aliens revealing the unified field theory of space and time to us? And the mushroom just replied without hesitation. Because you don't believe in anything. And that apparently is what's required. Do you all know that Van Morrison song about no guru, no method, no teacher, just you and me and nature in the garden? I think that's actually where it's at. So what I do, I'm a meme spreader. terrible things away. Mean the terrible things away. Mean the terrible things away. And the purpose of these teaching things is to turn you into fellow replicators of the meme. Of the meme. You should go forth and tell other people, tell other people, tell other people, go forth and tell other people, tell other people, tell other people, and copy it into their head, copy it into their head, copy it into their head, and this meme will spread. So what I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. Meme spreader. A meme replicator. Because we cannot evolve faster than our language. The edge of being is the edge of meaning. And somehow we have to push the edge of meaning. We have to extend it. Because if we appear to be confronted by insoluble problems, it's because we have the wrong language for dealing with this problem. You learn that with computers. Certain languages are good for certain kinds of problems. We have to constantly evolve language and push it forward. So what I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. Meme spreader. A meme replicator.
Limitations are, how can I push them? How can I get better? But once I feel it, once I see where I was broken, then I can attack that weakness. I can fill in that gap. I can reinforce that breach. If you break, it means it's time to fortify your will to make it stronger. When I'm broken, I relish it. When I'm broken, I relish it. I relish it. And look, there's all kinds of different ways to break. You can break physically, you can break mentally, you can break your heart, you can break your spirit. And none of those are fun. And all of those are gonna leave a mark. But the mark that they leave can be the mark of victory, or it can be the mark of defeat. Because every time you break, and in every way that you break, it's a chance, it's definitely a chance for you to give up and for you to just to fall apart. But there's also opportunity.
Unbroken.
I've really been trying to make sense of this, because, well, what the hell's going on? Why am I selling out 3,000 person auditoriums? I use the stage, let's say, as a opportunity in real time to think. I've been thinking, well, if you're surfing, you don't confuse yourself with the wave. The wave. The wave. That's a real mistake. You might be on top of the wave, but you're not. The wave. The wave. The wave. That's a real mistake. You might be on top of the wave, but you're not. The wave. I think this long-form discussion and the public hunger for that is best conceptualized like that. There's a technological revolution. It's a deep one. Online video and audio. Immediately accessible to everyone, all over the world. It's turned the spoken word into a tool that has the same reach as the printed word. So it's a Gutenberg revolution in the domain of video and audio. And it might be even deeper than the original Gutenberg revolution, because it isn't obvious how many people can read, but lots of people can listen. The wave. The wave. The wave. You might be on top of the wave, but you're not. The wave. The wave. The wave. You might be on top of the wave, but you're not. The wave. I mean, you got a little bit of that with TV, right? And you got a little bit of it with radio. But there was bandwidth limitations that were really stringent, especially in TV, where you could get 30 seconds if you were lucky, and 6 minutes if you were stellar, to elucidate a complicated argument. So you can't do that. Everything gets compressed to a kind of oversimplified entertainment. But now, all of a sudden, we have this forum for long-form discussion, real long-form discussion. It turns out that everyone is way smarter than we thought. The wave. The wave. The wave. That's a real mistake. You might be on top of the wave, but you're not. The wave. The wave. The wave. You might be on top of the wave, but you're not. The wave. The people, the forefront of this, are being cascaded forward like a surfer on a giant wave on this technological transformation. It's necessary to keep your ego under control. With regards to the people coming to see me, the proper attitude towards that, and I think this is true for any performer, is gratitude. You bloody well be happy those people are there. And you should never think there's something spectacularly special about yourself that's attracting these people, and that somehow you're above them and they're your fans, or there's this real power differential, even though that sort of manifests itself because people are so happy to see you. That's a dangerous pathway, and I truly am ridiculously overwhelmed and grateful and happy and pleased that all these people show up.
To get into the unitive world, underneath, underlying and supporting the everyday practical world, there have to be certain alterations in one's common sense. Now, there are certain ideas, and beyond these ideas, certain feelings that are difficult to get across, not because they're intellectually complicated, not at all because of that, but because they're unfamiliar. They're strange. We haven't been brought up to accommodate. In exactly the same way that in past times, people knew that the planets were supported in the sky because they were embedded in spheres of crystal. And if they weren't embedded in spheres of crystal, and of course you could see them because you could see through them, they would fall down on the Earth. And now when astronomers finally suggested that there were no crystal spheres, people felt unbelievably insecure. See? They had a terrible time assimilating this idea. Now, do you see what it involves? To assimilate a really new idea, you have to do quite a flip. For example, there's some people whose number systems only account for quantities. 1, 2, 3, many. So they don't have any concept of four corners to a table. See, a table has many corners, and a pile of pebbles is, in that sense, equivalent in manyness to the four corners of a table. Now they have difficulty, you see, in beginning to assimilate the idea of counting through and numbering all those corners or all those pebbles. But we've done that. And so to us that is perfectly simple. But imagine the kind of mentality, the kind of person to whom that is not simple at all. And now in exactly the same way, there is here what I'm trying to explain, a new idea that most people don't assimilate. And that is the idea of the total interdependence of everything in the world.
Akira The Don. He's got clout. I would first ask the kid, who are you? At the core of your soul. And if he can't answer that question, our conversation's over. I can't say shit to him. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you? Who are you? If you don't know who you are, if you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Honestly, I'm blessed enough to have survived the life I lived and to come out the other side with a bunch of knowledge. So hopefully I can help people that believe that they're much less than what they truly are. Help them find greatness in themselves. And greatness isn't running 200 miles at a time or doing 4,000 push-ups or being a SEAL. Greatness is whatever the hell you dreamed of in your own mind. You gotta first see it. You gotta first create this vision in your mind, and then that's when I come into play. Once you create this vision in your mind, it's how am I gonna get there now? And that's when I come into play. But first you gotta create your own vision, and it's not external. The vision created is inside of you. So until you create that, I'm nobody to you. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you? Who are you? If you don't know who you are, if you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you? 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 If you don't know who you are, if you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
I do believe that it really matters that every single person gets their act together. We're networked together. We think of ourselves as 7 billion isolated units and despair that none of us have any significance or purpose. Not the case. We're each the center and a vast network, and we're each responsible for determining the direction of the cosmos, as far as I can tell. And it isn't obvious to see how we can each be charged with that responsibility, but it still seems to me that it's the case. We're also very annoyed and irritated with one another if we don't treat each other as if that was the truth, 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 as if that was the truth. So that's my big adventure. That's my big adventure. That's my big adventure. That's my big adventure. You think, well, here's something you could do with your life. You could do with your life. Devote it to making everything you possibly can better. And see what happens. Tell the truth. Aim high. Tell the truth. Aim high. And see where you can get with that. 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 And see where you can get with that. 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 It's like, there's an adventure for you.